I remember the exact moment it hit me. The sting of their words, sharper than any slap or punch. I was just 18, standing in our cluttered living room, clutching my notebook filled with scribbles and dreams. I poured my soul into telling them I wanted to become a relationship coach, to help people understand each other, to heal wounds that ran deeper than words. But my family? They laughed. "Are you serious?" My father scoffed, shaking his head. As if I'd just announced I wanted to become a clown for a living. "That's not a real job." "You're never going to make $1 doing that. It's a joke." My mother rolled her eyes. "You're wasting your time. Don't you want to be a doctor or a lawyer? Something with a real future?" My sibling snickered, sneering at my naive enthusiasm. "You're just dreaming. Dreams don't pay bills, Maya. Face it. This isn't you. You're better than this foolishness." It was a crushing blow. I felt my chest tighten, my face burn with humiliation, like a scar that would never heal. I remember feeling small, so small amid their dismissive laughter. They dismissed my aspirations as if I was dreaming up some childish fantasy, a joke I'd forget with time. I never did. That day, something inside me shattered and then, strangely, ignited. I promised myself I would prove them wrong. I would show them that my dream, no matter how ridiculous, was worth fighting for. So I threw myself into it. I devoured books on psychology, emotional intelligence, communication, and human behavior. I built an online presence, blogging, posting videos, offering free advice. I faced rejection after rejection. No one wanted to hear from the crazy girl with the wild idea. Financial struggles became my constant companion. Nights where I wondered if I'd ever break through. But I refused to give up. Every failure was a lesson. Every no, a push forward. I learned to adapt, to grow stronger. I started coaching small clients, building my reputation one person at a time. Slowly, recognition grew. But the real breakthrough came when I launched my first webinar. A simple, heartfelt session on emotional connection, vulnerability, and trust. It was a modest beginning, but when I finished, something shifted. Messages poured in, people thanking me for the clarity, telling me I changed their lives. A few months later, I was invited to speak at a conference, then on podcasts, then, finally, to host my own seminars online. The success was undeniable now. I'd become what my family called a joke, a dreamer destined for failure. But I knew better. I knew I'd turned my pain into purpose, my rejection into resilience. And then the day came. I was invited back home to our small town, to the house I'd fled years ago, the place where their words still echoed in my ears. I parked my car and stepped inside, feeling the weight of my journey, the victories, the scars, the relentless pursuit of something I believed in when no one else did. My family was already gathered in the living room when I arrived. They looked different, older perhaps, but their faces still held the same dismissive expressions. I could see it in their eyes. They weren't expecting what I was about to show them. I had arranged something special. A live webinar session streamed directly into the room on a large screen. The room fell silent as I pressed play, activating the broadcast. The camera flickered to life, and I began sharing my story about the doubts, the failures, the moments I wanted to give up. I told them how I turned my pain into purpose, how I'd built a platform for transformation, not just for my clients, but for myself. I showed clips of my online seminars, testimonials from people whose lives I'd helped, videos of my speaking engagements, media mentions, awards, everything I'd accumulated through relentless dedication. At first, their eyes widened with disbelief. My father's jaw dropped. My mother's face turned pale. My siblings looked stunned into silence. Then I saw something I'd never seen before. Pride. Tears welled in my father's eyes as he looked at the screen. My mother's hand trembled as she wiped away a tear. The disdain that once clouded their faces melted away, replaced with something unfamiliar. Respect. When the webinar ended, I turned to face them, chest heaving with a mix of adrenaline and vulnerability. Silence hung heavy before my father finally spoke. You really did it," he whispered, voice thick. "We always thought you'd fail, that you were chasing something foolish. But you proved us wrong. You've built something real, something meaningful." My mother nodded, tears streaming down her face. "We didn't see it back then. We thought it was just a silly dream. But we see now, you're not just chasing a dream. You're changing lives. You're making a difference." I felt a surge of emotion, pride, relief, a deep sense of validation. All those years of doubt, rejection, and struggle had led to this moment of undeniable truth. I was enough. My pursuit wasn't foolish. It was fearless. That day, I learned an irrefutable lesson of resisting the siren call of despair, of transforming pain into purpose. My family's ridicule had merely broken me, but it also fueled my fire. Their words, once a source of shame, became the fuel that propelled me forward. And as I looked into their eyes, I realized that true connection isn't just about helping others. It's about forgiving those who doubted us, showing them our worth through our actions and resilience. Today, I stand here not just as a successful relationship coach, but as living proof that no dream is too ridiculous, no voice too loud in opposition to drown out your purpose. Sometimes, the greatest triumph begins with the courage to defy everyone's expectations, including your own. Because in the end, the real victory isn't just in success. It's in becoming who you were always meant to be, regardless of the doubts cast your way. That is the art of connection. That and the undeniable power of belief. Belief in yourself, even when the world says you're wrong. And that's the story.